All right, let's talk about something that's probably on your mind a lot lately. Inflation. It's a word we hear everywhere, but what does it actually mean for your money? We're going to break it all down, super simple, over the next few minutes. I mean, have you ever had that feeling? You look at your paycheck, you look at the prices at the store, and you just think, why doesn't my money buy what it used to? What's the deal?
Okay, let's make this super real. Picture this. Last year, you could grab a loaf of bread for, say, $1. Easy. But now, you go to that same store for that same exact loaf of bread, and suddenly the price tag says $2.
And here's the thing. The bread isn't magically twice as delicious, right? And I'm guessing your boss didn't just double your salary overnight. So what gives? What actually happened?
Well, that feeling, that phenomenon, it has a name. It's called inflation. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now. Let's look at the simple definition of what's really going on with your money.
Okay, so here it is in a nutshell. Inflation is just a fancy word for when prices go up, and as a result, your money buys less than it used to. Every single dollar you have just doesn't stretch as far. Its buying power or purchasing power goes down.
Here's another way to think about it. You've got a $10 bill. Before, that $10 gets you, 10 apples. Awesome. But after some inflation kicks in, you go back to the store with that exact same $10 bill, and now it only gets you 5 apples. Same money in your hand, totally different result at the checkout.
Honestly, if you forget everything else, just remember this one little phrase. It's the key to the whole thing. Inflation is just same money, less stuff. That's it.
Okay, definitions are great, but let's see how this plays out in the real world. A little story can make this stuff so much clearer. Let's see inflation in action.
All right, so let's meet Alex. His finances are pretty simple, right? He makes $100 a week, and in his world, things are pretty predictable. A loaf of bread is $1, a carton of milk is $1, everything's stable.
Now, let's jump forward just 1 year. Alex is still putting in the same hours, still earning that same $100 a week. But when he goes to the store, whoa, things have changed. That same bread, it's now $2. Milk, also $2.
And this is the really weird part, the paradox of it all. Alex looks in his wallet, and the money is all there. He still has $100. He hasn't lost a cent. But he's actually poorer. Why? Because what that $100 can buy has literally been cut in half.
And that's why you'll often hear people call inflation a hidden pay cut. It's perfect, right? Because your paycheck might say the exact same number, but what it's worth in the real world has dropped. It's like your pay got cut, but nobody sent you the memo.
So this all leads to a huge question. Where does this silent thief even come from? Why does it happen? And maybe even more importantly, what is it doing to the savings you've been carefully stashing away?
You know, the reasons can get super complicated, but it usually boils down to one of 3 things. First, you've got too much money chasing too few things. Think of it like a government printing a ton of cash. Suddenly, each dollar is worth a little less. Second, you can have shortages. If there's less of something, like gas or wheat, the price for what's left is going to shoot up. And third, businesses have higher costs. If their rent, fuel, or what they pay their workers go up, guess what? They're going to pass that cost onto you, the customer.
Okay, now let's talk about your savings. This is where it really hits home for a lot of people. So let's say you've been super responsible. You've saved up $1,000. Awesome. You put it in a savings account thinking it's totally safe.
But then a year goes by, and let's say inflation was running at 10%. You check your account, and yep, the $1,000 is still there, but its power has shrunk. In terms of what you can actually buy with it, it's like you only have $900 now. $100 of value just vanished into thin air. And this right here is such a crucial point. When inflation is high, just letting your cash sit there means you're basically on a slow-moving treadmill to being poorer. You're losing buying power without even spending anything. It's like a leaky bucket. All right, so this all sounds a little doom and gloom, I know. But understanding the problem is the first step. So the big question is, what can we actually do about it? Let's switch gears from the what to the how. How do you turn this knowledge into action? First off, it's really important to get this. Not all inflation is bad. Actually, a little bit, what we call low inflation, is usually a good sign. It means the economy is growing and humming along. The real pain starts with high inflation. That's when prices are climbing way faster than our paychecks can keep up. And then you have the really scary stuff, hyperinflation, which can just completely wreck an economy. So it's not just that prices are rising, it's how fast they're rising that really matters. So what's the game plan?
How do people fight back? Well, while there's no one-size-fits-all answer, most strategies fall into a couple of big buckets. One is investing your money in things that can grow in value, hopefully faster than prices are going up, things like the stock market or property. Another huge one is investing in yourself, growing your skills so you can command a higher salary. See the pattern? It's all about trying to make your money grow faster than inflation is eating it away.
And really, that's the whole game right there. The goal is to make sure your income and your investments are growing faster than prices are. You have to win the race. It's your money's growth versus the rising cost of living. That's the finish line you're aiming for.
Look, inflation can feel like this big, invisible thing that you have no control over, but it's real, and it affects every single dollar you touch. The cool thing is now you get it. You understand one of the most fundamental rules of money. So the real question now is, what are you going to do with that knowledge? It's not just about knowing what inflation is. It's about figuring out your plan to stay ahead of it.